up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and welcome if you're new here. My name is Shay Nicole. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about this book that I recently finished. It's called Big Friendship, How We Keep Each Other Close by Aminatou and Friedman. These two women, they co-wrote this book about friendship, pretty much talking about all the ways that we could be better about friendship, how they've struggled in their friendship, and the term big friendship, they use it to describe how they've made a lifelong commitment to each other as friends, and how they navigate through that throughout life changes and, you know, different things that they go through individually and together. These two ladies, they have a podcast. It's called Call Your Girlfriend. I had never heard of it. I found out about this book I was randomly in an Amazon store in the book section. It was something that I just came across, and I figured friendship and working on how I navigate my friendships is one of my goals for the year, and I felt, why not, you know, reference a book or try to learn some tips from books in order to be better at that. So I picked it up. They have discussion questions posted to their website. I'm guessing it's probably modeled for people who want to have people who want to have conversations with their friends, or maybe like a book club or something like that. And I thought, you know, why not bring it to the channel? And that way I'm letting you guys know about this resource if you do decide to read the book. There are 15 questions, but I'm only going to choose like 5 or 7 just to keep this concise. So I'm just going to get straight into it. So the first question is, we hear over and over again that the older you get, the harder it is to make friends and deepen new friendships. Why do you think that's such a common belief? Has it been true for your own life? So I think that we, as a society, we struggle to deepen our friendships and make new friends because there's this hyper focus on creating a nuclear family unit, and I think that that is a huge detriment to how we navigate our friendships, as well as like building new bonds. A lot of people will, you know, structure their friendships in a way that sometimes they're like placeholders for until they get into like a serious long-term relationship, marriage, or have kids. And like, one, that's just not fair to the person that it's, or people that it's happening to. And I think 2, it also, I don't know, it's not something that I believe personally, but yeah, I definitely think that people just have a hyper focus on creating nuclear families and creating bonds of like romantic sexual partnership, and they think that it's okay to disregard their friendships. I don't struggle making friends. I'm 28 and I'm still very much open to making friends. Do I feel like I'm like moving into that space where maybe I would take a break from making friends, or maybe I just noticed that other people aren't as open to it, so it makes me feel discouraged? But me personally, I don't have a problem like still meeting people and building like deep bonds. Like, if I have a desire to do that, I think that it's possible if the other person is willing. So that's like probably the hardest part, like if the other person is willing, because I do see and meet people who are very their circles are kind of insular, and they don't put real effort into like deepening new friendships, even though they may be open to making new friends. Next question is, women aren't the only people who have big friendships, but we see far fewer cultural examples of men in intimate, healthy friendships. Why do you think that is? So I know why it is. It's because of patriarchy, misogyny, capitalism. Men are very much rewarded for being the opposite of what women are, which is, and this is, when I say these things, I mean from like a stereotypical standpoint, because obviously men can be things that women are, but from a broader standpoint, it's like I said, they're rewarded for being the opposite. So they're seen as, when men are like openly and excitedly like nurturing and compassionate and caring, like they get ridiculed for it. So they don't really have much incentive to be as soft in their friendships as women are. So I think that that's a huge reason. Yeah. But I think that is, when I see men who have friendships that are comparable to mine, like, I think it's great. Everybody should have deep bonds with people of their same sex or gender, whatever the case may be. gender presentation, like, because it's something about being able to relate with somebody on that level that's like really important. So yeah, even though it's not as common, I think that more men should have deeper friendships, have deep talks, have conflicts within their friendships and work through them and things like that. So the question is, how do you practice shine theory? Do the strategies in the book ring true to your experience, or has it looked different in your own life? Have you ever practiced shine theory with one of your friends? So shine theory is this concept that Aminatou and Anne coined, and it's pretty much how we make a commitment to help our friends be better, and then also have the expectation that they will help us be better as well. I would like to think that I practice shine theory. I'm definitely a person who, when I meet somebody or I become friends with somebody, if I have a resource that I think will be valuable to you, I'm going to share it. Like, I'm not, and I think you don't even have to be like a super close friend of mine. Like, I'm always willing to share the resources that I have. Like, I don't get secretive or feel like if I share this with you, then you're gonna surpass me. Like, we don't do that around here. The way that they talk about it in the book was kind of like one of their friends was really good at negotiating salaries. Another friend helped them with their podcast. So different things like that. So I think that I've been able to do those things pretty similarly, like helping my friend get a job or making sure that they feel supported in their different endeavors. That concept of an exchange of resources. And I think that's important because I think that people tend to, some people tend to restrict certain parts of their personality in fear of not getting it in return. But in a big friendship with shine theory, that mutual agreement that I'm going to help you when I can and you're going to help me when you can, and like that kind of eases the fear of not being reciprocated in that way. So I think that that's a really good thing to apply to friendships. The next one is talk about a friendship you once had that has ended. So in the book, they talk about 3 different types of friendships: active, dormant, and commemorative. Active being friends who are currently in your life that you engage with on a consistent basis. Dormant being like a friend that you guys haven't broken up or broken off the friendship, but you know, it's kind of on the back burner in your life. And then commemorative friendships where the friendship is no longer there. There's no like bad blood, but you know, you guys are able to, or probably individually, reminisce on that friendship. This was a very close friend of mine from high school. And when I think about that friendship, it was, I just think about how like immature I was and how much I didn't have the language of like not putting everything on a friend, and like the term best friend on someone. Like if I knew now, I mean, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have put everything that I needed from a friend on one person. So I'll say that there was this tweet, and if I can find it, I will put it right here, that talked about how the label of best friend, kind of in the same way that, you know, monogamy puts a lot of pressure on individuals to be everything to each other, putting the label of best friend, you know, it leads to that expectation that they should never anger you, that they should know everything about you, that they should, you know, be able to be everything to you. And I feel like that doesn't give people room to be who they really are, nor does it give you the chance to be fulfilled in ways that are more meaningful, because there may be somebody with other traits that this best friend of yours doesn't have that you'll be able to tap into. So with this friendship, it ended. We were friends all throughout high school, and then we got to college and we had a disagreement, and like the friendship abruptly ended. And like we had two other mutual friends who we were like, you know, kind of in a clique with, but like, oh man, if I could do it differently, I definitely would. But do I think that the friendship would have lasted until now? Probably not, but I don't really know. But I definitely, like, when I look on so many of my friendships that are no longer active and are commemorative, like I just, you know, I do see things that I could have done so much more differently, like, yeah, which is why that's one of my goals for this year, to be better at friendship, because I'm tired of losing friends. I don't want to lose no more friends. And I will say, losing friends, that grieving process is just like a relationship. Like, I don't like doing it, even when there's a friend that like, you guys have this issue that, you know, is like irreconcilable differences. It still hurts. It still very much hurts. It's very hard to do, at least for me. Like, I really don't like breaking up with people, with my friends, because it's hurtful. Like, having to think about how much time you used to spend with that person, how much you guys used to talk on the phone. Like, oof, I don't like doing it. But, you know, sometimes it's necessary, so I get it. But it definitely falls in the realm of like the grieving process, like you're grieving a breakup of a romantic relationship. It's very similar, at least in my opinion. My next question is, in the past, how have you dealt with conflict in your friendships? So in the past, I haven't dealt with conflict within my friendships. And I think it's part of that idea of friendships are meant to be temporary, or that friendships are this placeholder for romantic relationships, or before we start to create a nuclear family. So I think in the past, like, I was less inclined to say, I don't want to lose this friendship, and just abandon the friendship. And that's something that they talk about in the book, how we're so quick to abandon relationships in ways that we won't abandon family or romantic relationships. So yeah, I think for me, the way I've handled conflict in the past is just to let it go and not talk about it, and just don't be friends no more, which is horrible. But recently, a few of my good friendships, like, I know I don't want to lose those friendships. And so I'm putting in the work and the effort to ensure that those are lifelong bonds that I can stick with. So the next question is, research shows that the loneliness epidemic isn't about having fewer friends. People report having the same number of friends as they did in the past decades. It's about our struggle to stay connected with the friends we do have. Why do you think people report feeling more lonely these days? I think people report feeling more lonely, one, because the way we use social media. And they talk about this in the book, how people will have all of these friends, even their close friends or like distant friends, on social media, and they will use that platform or a social media platform to check in. Well, kind of peering in, you more so peer into people's lives instead of like actually being in their lives, and that, you know, can cause loneliness. Also, back to my same point about nuclear families, and if you can tell by this point, I guess I'm pretty anti-nuclear family. I believe more in community care and community building. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell people not to get married and have kids and live in the same, and, you know, have that kind of household structure, but I want to kind of push the point that don't leave your friends behind. I think people feel lonely because we put so much emphasis on getting a husband. I know mostly women watch my channel. Getting a husband, having kids, and when you get to the end of your life, you know, your husband may be gone, and then it's not a guarantee that your kids will take care of you at the end of your life. But if you keep your friends, and, you know, there's the instance that your friends could pass before you or whatever the case may be. But in the book, it talks about how a researcher, when they went around to these different nursing homes, they found a lot of older people who were on their deathbeds and looking for friends and couldn't find them because they had lost contact with them for so long. And it's like, if we nurture the bonds that we have with our friends now, we won't too much have to worry about scrambling to talk to our friends when we're 99 years old and about to kick the bucket. So the last question that I'm going to talk about is, describe a ritual you have in your big friendship. Describe a new ritual you would like to start. So I don't currently have any like concrete rituals with my friends. I definitely am the type, like, I love to be on FaceTime with my friends for like hours. That's kind of a thing. Like, just like doing our own things on FaceTime in silence, I like doing that. That's definitely, especially because one of my friends, she does not live in the same state as me. Sometimes we just sit on FaceTime and be doing our own thing, and for me that feels like intimacy. Like that's something that's important to me in our relationship, that we do I want to say quite often, but on a consistent basis. Like, you know, we'll talk for hours, and then there'll be certain points in the conversation where we're off doing our own thing, and you know, that's something that I like doing. I've been thinking, so I know one of my Instagram followers posted how her friend sent her like flowers or something for their friend anniversary. That's something I want to start doing, like celebrating my friendships with people. I don't know if it necessarily has to be a friend anniversary, because I don't remember when I met all my friends, but something to that effect I would love to do. If any of these topics stood out to you, I would definitely recommend reading the book. As far as a review, I liked the book. Did I like overjoyed love it? No, I liked it. I'll say I liked it. I wasn't like, you know, I'm not head over heels for it like I am with some books. But I definitely recommend it, especially like because it was written by two people in a friendship for many years, and they also used a lot of research content, so I think that that's important as well. But make sure you guys go like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video from yours truly, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.